Parkour! Michael, parkour! Parkour!
Extreme!
Parkour! 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 Michael, parkour! Parkour!
Extreme!
Parkour! Parkour!
Hey, what's up guys? It's part 2 of day 21, and I was so busy that I didn't really talk to the camera too much, so I'm gonna do this voiceover for you guys. What you're seeing here is the racetrack that I built for these logs. All the trees that I need for the cabin are up at the top of the mountain, so I needed an easy way to roll them down. It definitely needs some improvements, but it works pretty well, and it only took me about 5 minutes to set up. No more dragging logs for me. All I gotta do is roll them down. The walls are getting pretty tall, and it's becoming difficult to get in and out of the cabin. I do have the door cut out, but I'm too lazy to go around and use it. Plus, this is a lot more fun. You know what's not fun though? Taking the bark off these trees. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be, but it kills so much time, and time is precious up here. I get so many comments about using a drawing knife for this bark, but it actually takes longer than using the axe. Luckily, these trees were burnt before I cut them down. It makes taking the bark off really easy, especially when it comes off in big chunks like this. Here's another look at Lucky Speedway. This track works so well for getting these logs downhill, and it's definitely saving my back. Peeling the logs like this will make them last so much longer on the cabin. When you don't peel them, insects are prone to get under the bark, lay their eggs, and it'll cause the logs to rot a lot quicker. These are my two girls, Ryder and Coco, and they're some of the sweetest shepherds you'll ever meet. This is how I'm getting the logs set in the cabin. If I hadn't dug down 6 feet before I started this project, it'd be almost impossible to set these logs without a pulley system. Since I have the advantage of the high ground here, I can just drop the logs right into the cabin and then move them later as needed. It's much easier this way. I spend about half my time up here looking for my tools. It's so annoying, I need to get better at that.
I'm gonna set this log and call it a day, guys. It's raining still. It's getting pretty chilly out here. Looking good though. Looking real good.
If you guys know me, then you know I did not call it a day after setting that log. Last time I started building the window frames. The two windows are going to sit side by side, and the individual window frames that I built were just not strong enough. I had the great idea to build one singular window frame to house the two windows. This will make it much stronger and line them up perfectly. Besides the two 16-foot boards on top of the truck, all the lumber that I used was repurposed from a few projects that I had going on in town. So far, I've probably only spent maybe $50 building this cabin. The biggest expense has to be the nails that I'm using on the cabin. They're about $2 a piece, and I've used maybe 15 of them so far. These 16-foot boards were about $10 each, which brings us to our total of $50. I think I can build the entire cabin for less than $100 in materials. With that said, this project has actually been pretty expensive, mostly because of the commute. I gotta drive 2 hours round trip every single time I wanna come work on the cabin. And driving a big old truck like this does not help. I was making enough money to offset the fuel costs on other platforms like TikTok, but they decided to demonetize my account, so all I got is YouTube now. I'm not making any money off of YouTube just yet, but I'm not doing this for money, guys, not at all. This is purely for the passion of the cabin build, and this is something that I've dreamt about for so many years now. I actually started this project about 3.5 years ago when I was living up here. I had a nice stack of logs right where the cabin's at right now, but Then the wildfire rolled through and burnt everything. I had to start over from scratch. When I was building before the fire, I was still only cutting dead trees. This was much more difficult because there were hardly any dead trees in this area. In a way, this fire was actually beneficial for the cabin build because it prepped all my logs and it gave me way more timber to work with. It's crazy to think that I'm gonna have an entire house without killing a single tree. So cool to think about. Alright guys, that's enough talking for me. If you enjoyed this voiceover, I'll do it a lot more often. But for now, I'm just gonna let the video play so you guys can watch me work.
Just like that, we got a massive window frame. Let me go measure these windows real quick. That way I can put in the frames here between the 2x4 walls. And then we'll get that thing stood up right at the front of the cabin there. That's where it's gonna go. Whoa. 35.5 by 59.5. And there's gonna be two of them. 35.5 by 59.5. All right, that's more or less where the two windows are gonna sit. Side by side, right next to each other. I got them roughly measured. You can see the picture. I'm gonna stand this wall straight up to the front of the cabin there. All that I have left to do is put in the window sills. They're gonna go just like that. I'm a visual guy, so let's see if the windows even fit first. they're gonna look like. Side by side, a little bit of space on the top and bottom for the top plate and the bottom windowsill. Much better idea than what we had previously. Perfect fit. This is gonna be great. Guys, that is nice and snug. Oh my goodness. Couldn't get any better than that. Can't wait to put this up on the cabin. Here they come. Hey, Ride, did you have fun? You have fun today, girl? Let's go, ladies. Let's load up. Come on. What a beautiful evening, guys. Wish I could stay out here longer, but we'll be back soon. Don't you worry. One last look at the cabin before we head down. I cannot wait to put up this window frame. It's gonna look amazing. Peace. Check this out.